The emphasis on strength and flexibility development in asana sometimes obscures the deeper potential and the deeper purpose of asana practice. And that deeper potential is to create connection, to create unity, to create the spaciousness and anchoring in that spaciousness that's unfamiliar in our normal work through the day or in our habitual stances in the world. So the asana has the potential for, if you think about it in this way, creating new neural pathways, new integration, different parts of the body, but also an awareness and an integration of awareness and the energies of the body to create a more spacious space for us, if you will. One of the poses that creates this or illustrates this idea is the archer pose. It's seldom taught, and it may be unfamiliar to you, perhaps because it's often a little awkward and you might not get it. You just don't quite understand why or what the value of it is. So let's see if we can find a way to make the archer pose familiar, accessible, and something you'd like to add to your practice on a daily basis. So we'll start by looking at, we'll assume first of all that you have done some aspects of your yoga practice already, so that the standing postures, forward bends, even some twisting or whatever else you might normally do in an asana practice is done, so that the body is warmed up. And let's assume that today as we begin this practice. So the first thing is we need to be able to sit up straight. So because it requires some forward bending, and you need to be able to bend from the hip, not from the waist. If you are a little challenged through the hamstrings, it may be hard to sit up with an erect spine. You may be a little bit collapsed to the back. In other words, the pelvis is tilted slightly back, and that will make this pose very hard. So in that case, as with all forward bends, if you bring a prop under the sit bones, that may help you. And of course, you can also work with bent knees. And that's another option that might make this an accessible pose for you. The posture involves, or in its full form, holding the big toe of both feet. You can also hold the outer edges of the foot if you need more stability. But you can also hold or just reach the extended leg. This is an asymmetrical posture. So you can hold the extended leg and then draw the working leg back with the knee slightly bent on both legs. So these are ways to give yourself a bit of access that you might not normally have. Okay, so let's just try it here. You can start with both with the working knee. In this case, I have my left knee bent, and come forward, catching hold of the outer edge of the foot or the big toe, or perhaps the shin if you're not able to get too far forward. And then drawing back with one leg, and pick the leg up and draw it back by the ear, drawing the foot back. So it's like drawing a bow. If you are getting ready to shoot an arrow, you draw the foot back beside the head. And perhaps you are sensing at this moment the awkwardness of this asymmetrical posture. So if that's the case, try this on this next attempt here. Again, finding or adjusting your hold is a way, any way that's going to work for you. And then fix your gaze. Fix your gaze on something right in front of you, not off to the side, and make it something that's stable, immobile, at about eye level. And hold that focus as you come into the pose. And in that way, even regardless of what your how far you are able to get your foot up or back, you'll be able to feel a certain stability, a certain organizational stability throughout the posture that will sustain you or allow you to hold the pose a little bit longer. And then you want to find ease in the breath and hone in on the focus of both the gaze, the eyes, but also of the body itself. So you feel collected, and in the same way that you might if you were drawing a bow back and going to release an arrow at the bullseye on the target. And then try the other side, same thing. You may find that the one side is a little bit easier than the other because of various reasons. Could be hamstring differences or differences in flexibility of the hip, but kind of the same thing on both sides. And you might want to do that a couple of times now if you've done that many on the other side. Use your gaze to help stabilize. Use your breath to find a sense of stability and ease, and to bring a focus into the pose itself. And then sit for a moment just quietly. And you can sit with your legs extended if you'd like, or your knees bent, or just cross-legged, whatever is really comfortable. But close your eyes, bring your attention to your breath. And see and feel particularly down through the core of the body and into the pelvis. And see if you don't notice a certain lightness, a certain expanded awareness, a certain ease. In the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, this posture is, which the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, as you probably know, is the most widely known of the pre-modern yoga texts on Hatha Yoga. And it describes this pose as Dhanurasana as opposed to an archer pose. So Dhanurasana in modern times has come to be a backward bend, and this pose is known as the archer. But I hope you can see how it is able to collect and focus intention and energy on the within the body and the mind, and to bring the body and mind together in a way which is the potential and the intention of asana.